ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar my dear friends. This is another video in the Upanishadic story series. This is the story of Swetketu, and the heading is Life After Death. As a general rule, man has never reconciled himself to the idea of death as the cessation of the ego. In some form or other, different races of mankind have believed in some kind of continuity of life after death. 4 questions on this subject have been answered by a prince in the story. There is also an attempt to explain the origin of life, that is the subject of the 5th question. Once upon a time, a young Brahmin named Swetketu went to the assembly of Panchalas. His father had educated him at home, and he was under the impression that he had completed his studies and that he knew everything that a Brahmin should know. When he entered the assembly, discussions were going on, questions and answers being bandied about. It was usual to hold such an assembly at the time of a sacrifice or a similar ceremony. Prince Parvahana, a Kshatriya, accosted the young newcomer. Have you had your education, young man? Swetketu said with pride, Yes, indeed, I have. Do you know where all these people go to from here after death? No, sir, I do not know. Do you know how they return to this world again? No, sir, I do not know. Do you know the courses of the 2 paths along which the dead travel and which are known as the path of light, Devyana, and the path of darkness, Pitriyana? No, sir, I do not know. Do you know why the other world does not become overfull, though so many continue to depart from this world and enter it? No, sir, I do not know. Do you know how in the 5th stage elemental matter becomes the Purusha or the living person? No, sir, I do not know. Then how dare you say that your education is complete? You do not seem to know anything of this important subject which concerns every one of us, said the prince with some disparagement. Swetketu felt humiliated and thought he had been deceived into thinking that he was adequately educated. So he went straight to his father and said, Father, you said my education was complete. But when Prince Parvahana asked me some 5 questions, believe me, I could not reply to even one of them. How then did you say that I was sufficiently educated? He then told his father the whole story about the 5 questions and his discomfiture in the assembly of the Panchalas. Dear child, replied the father, I myself do not know the replies to the questions you have just mentioned. I do not know the reply to even one of them. If I had that knowledge, do you think that I would have ever withheld it from you? The father then went himself to the prince to learn at his feet. He bowed to him respectfully and waited at his court. Next morning, when the prince saw Swetketu and his father, he said to the father respectfully, Sir, I offer you wealth which is dear to all. You may demand as much as you please. The Brahmin said, Great prince, let the wealth remain with you. I do not want it at all. I want knowledge from you. I want you to talk with me as you talked with my child. I am thirsting for the knowledge of the other world. The prince was pleased with the attitude of the Brahmin and requested him to stay at his court. He said, Respected Brahmin, so long this knowledge has been traditionally known only to the Kshatriyas. It is only now and for the first time that I am imparting that knowledge to you, a Brahmin. I shall take up the last question first. There are, as it were, 5 yajnas or sacrifices, and as a result of those sacrifices, it is that elemental matter is ultimately converted into life or into a person. The other world is the fire, and the sun, who is elemental matter, is the oblation offered to it. The result of this yajna is the production of soma, the life-giving juice. Then soma is poured into prajanya, the power that brings on rain. The result is rain itself. Then rain is poured as an offering on the earth and food is the result. When food is offered to a man and when he digests it, the vital fluid called reta is produced. When reta enters the body of a woman, the embryo is born and then a child. Thus is elemental matter converted into life after 5 stages. Then he gave answer to the other 4 questions. He said, Since a man's body is made up of the 4 elements, it is dissolved into those constituents after death. But the destiny of his soul depends upon his actions and his knowledge. If he has attained real spiritual knowledge, he goes by Devyana, the path of light, and does not return to this earthly existence. His soul becomes immortal. But if he has led a life of desires and spent it in good deeds out of a desire for heaven, his soul goes by Pitriyana. The path of darkness to heaven remains there till his merit is exhausted and then hurries back to this world and takes birth according to the eternal nature of his former actions. But if his is a life of sin and evil deeds and of wickedness, if he was all along engaged in stealing, drinking, killing, and debauch, or in associating with people occupied with these sinful acts, these are the 5 great sins. He forfeits his claim to both immortality and heaven. He is born and reborn here on earth, and he goes through the cycle of lives of insects and worms and of wild vermin and suffers interminably. Thus of those who are born on earth some pass on and away to the world of Brahma, from which there is no return. Some others go to heaven, stay there for a time and then return to the worldly existence. Numerous others are caught up in the ever-recurring cycle of birth and death. That's why the other world never becomes overfull. There is no such danger either. This is the knowledge of life, its origin, and of the destiny of the soul after death. This knowledge was given by Pravahan, Diwali, a Kshatriya prince to a Brahmin for the first time. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot. Namaskar.